Hello and welcome to my pregnancy vlog. I'm looking at week 26 pregnancy. I am 27 weeks and like 2 or 3 days pregnant. I forget. I'm not very good at this. Also apologise in advance because I'm probably going to go and a lot. I've tried filming this before. I was interrupted by my Tesco's food shopping delivery, which in a way was a godsend because I was just umming and ahhing and annoying myself, and my friend is annoying me, so I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be a tart. If I'm being a tart, you'll know. So yes, apologies for that. As I said, the week 26, we were actually away on holiday, which is one of the reasons this is a little bit late, because we didn't actually come back until after I turned 27 weeks. It was another week where I just sound like such a moany old goat. And in my defence, I kind of want to say to anyone that's new, please go and watch my pregnancy vlogs with Seth, where they were incredibly boring because it was a really good pregnancy, and usually I'm incredibly blessed. Now, my daughters, I had bad SPD with my third child, my daughter Edith, and so I did a bit of moaning with that one. But generally, until now, I've had really easy pregnancies where I've just felt a bit nauseous or a bit tired and a bit achy, but nothing's too bad. With Edith, hers was the worst, bar this one. I don't know if because Seth was genetically related to me, I used my egg, I was a traditional surrogate. And this baby is a gestational surrogate, so it has absolutely nothing to do with him whatsoever. And I think my body just doesn't like him. And I actually feel really bad because I don't think it's the baby's fault at all, poor little boy. I feel so bad because I don't want to moan like I'm moaning about him. Because I'm not moaning about him, it's not his fault, and even if it was, I wouldn't begrudge him at all. I don't dislike him at all. As I said before, I'm not overly attached to him, he's not mine. Part of being a surrogate is that you don't get fond of the baby, but I've got nothing against the dude, and I don't want anyone thinking I'm being horrible about him or feeling very negative about him, because I don't. Because even knowing how I feel, I would still do this because he's totally worth it, and my IPs are so excited and they so want him, and he's so deserved and so wanted and so loved already, that I would suck this up. I would just give myself a warning that you are going to be so much more sick than you've ever imagined you could be. You're going to feel like complete crap 24/7. Be warned. Maybe start buttering your husband up before you get pregnant, because he has had to pick up a lot of the slack where I have been basically pointless. I can't sleep most of the time, I'm in pain, I am sick, I am pointless in so many different ways that I can't even remember what they all are to tell you. So I feel like this really horrible mum and wife. I think that's the worst thing about this, and this is a proper moany one, and I apologise. And I promise not to cry, even though I get a little bit emotional, because I'm just basically a reject, full of a lot of hormones, a lot. So many hormones. But yeah, I'm struggling in the sense that I am not able to, I'm not me at the minute. I haven't been me for most of this pregnancy, if any of it at all. I can't really bend at the minute. I was still touching my toes the day I gave birth to Seth, so this is different for me. Standing upright, knees together, I can still touch my toes at like 37 weeks pregnant. I was awesome. All right, maybe I wasn't awesome, I was probably quite deluded, but this time just bending down to get stuff hurts. I can't breathe when I'm on all fours for very long. I have to keep standing up. The sickness, the heartburn, the pain in the pelvis, and because the SPD is definitely here, and the backache. I've got sciatica as well, so my right leg keeps going dead. My right foot and ankle keeps swelling up. My left foot, fine, randomly. A little bit puffy at the end of the day, but it doesn't swell up. My right foot balloons and it goes all pins and needly, and it's just weird, and it's stopping me being me. Like cleaning the house, I can do it, but it's a lot harder. The kids are having to help, and in a way I feel like I'm taking advantage of them because they're home in the holidays, so it's easy to say, George, Alice, can you help me do this? And then I feel really guilty because they shouldn't have the responsibility that they're getting. So I'm feeling really messed up about making my kids do stuff or asking my kids to do stuff, and sometimes it is they have to because I can't, and I get really messed up about that. And I feel like this really horrible person because Darren comes home from work and he has to cook because I cannot do cooking smells. I was all right for about 3 days, And then the nausea kicked back in and I could have cried because I was like, oh, I thought it was finally at like 26 weeks, 25 weeks or whatever it was. Finally it's going. And yeah, 3 days where I could cook. So, I mean, I do the odd oven dinner, but I cannot just feed my kids like oven chips and nuggets or pizza or something. Because I mean, I can cook that because I can move away from the other while it's cooking. And so I've got to that point now where I really thought, I sound really horrible and grumpy and moany, and I really promise you I don't mean to be this horrible person, but I've got to that point where I just think, this is really hard, and I feel like a crap person, I feel like a crap mum, I feel like a crap wife. And I didn't want to get emotional like this, but I'm struggling, and I've never struggled before, but it's really hard because I feel guilty because I chose to do this. And again, oh, I'm so pathetic. Sorry, everything makes me cry these days. It's hormones. I chose to do this and I don't regret it. I don't for 1 second want anyone to think I wish I hadn't done this, because the stupid thing is, even though I'm being a turd, even though I'm being awful, I would still have done it, but I would have sat down with the kids because I'd never expected to be this ill. And it's useless. I would have sat down with them and I would have said, look, are you okay if mummy does this? And being the kids they are, I don't think they would have got it, but they would have said yes. And Darren would have been all right with that. And bless him, he's not been anything but wonderful. He really, honestly, what I would do for that man if I could. I love him so much. He's been more than a rock. And I'm so grateful for him, but I do adjust the guilt because I didn't have this with Seth. I didn't really have that. I had a little bit of it with Edith, but it was Taryn's idea. Taryn was the one that got broody with her. So I didn't feel as bad that I was like, oh, dude, can you help me? But I was still cooking and it was cleaning actually with that one because the SPD sometimes, excuse me, the SPD sometimes I couldn't do as much. And so I did, but I didn't feel guilty because it was his fault. I was pregnant. It's the Lisa logic that goes on there. And this time it's me. I chose to do this. I wanted to do this and I still want to do this. And again, I cannot impress enough that I do not regret this. I just wish I'd realised I was such an idiot. I'm so naive that I just assumed it would follow the pattern with all the other ones, because I've never had a really hard pregnancy before. One that's hard on me personally, like physically or whatever. So, yeah, I didn't realise. And although I'm not attached, I'm not messed up in any way on a carrying somebody else's baby front. Not in the way that you'd expect. I am feeling really, really messed up about the fact that my kids, it sucks. It sucks, and I feel like a horrible person, and I keep saying to them I'm really sorry and hugging them, and I'm more giving in to things and more like, okay, you can play on the Xbox if you want, baby, which is not me. I'm a terrible parent, but the TV's on more and they are playing on their Xbox more and the tablets more than they ever used to, because I can't do what I used to do. I mean, I was always that crazy mum that would dress up with them and do Harry Potter spells because I know them all. And I was a lot more hands-on and active. Even for a fat bird, I was pretty physically involved with my kids, with doing stuff, and I can't do it now. I can't. I'm exhausted and I'm snappy and I don't like who I am, and that's what I'm struggling with, if I'm honest. And I don't often see, I am denied about being this pathetically honest, because it's not that I want to portray that everything's perfect and everything's wonderful and isn't everything brilliant, because I've shared videos of my kids screaming and me being raw and stuff before. I've never been the person that wants to make out that life is absolutely wonderful and peachy and brilliant. But it's pretty awesome, to be fair. Even when it's a bad day, it's still pretty good here. But I don't want to make my IPs feel guilty. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, because, you know, I did this myself. I don't want to get the sort of attention that you can sometimes get, like loads of sympathy. It makes me feel awkward. And more than anything, I don't want to seem like I begrudge this child or anything like that. I don't. It's hard. I know what I mean. I can't put it into words. But yeah. So yeah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling for the first time in pregnancy, but not for the reasons you'd expect me to struggle as a surrogate, weirdly enough. But I'm hoping, I keep thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be third trimester in a few days. Maybe it'll get better. But then there's that fear that I'm going to get bigger and it's going to make the SPD worse. And then what if I can't drive? And what if I can't walk? And what if I get worse and my kids are going to suffer? I can deal with Darren suffering to a certain extent because he's made me suffer in the years before, and that's part of the marriage. But when it comes to my kids, I just got a lot of mum guilt going on, and I can't keep saying about it because as soon as I think like I'm screwing my kids up or I'm shortchanging my kids, I just feel really bad. And I think a lot of it goes back to when I very first started doing surrogacy. I was sort of like cornered by two people that I wasn't really friends with, who went on about I was being an awful wife and I was going to totally F my kids up by doing this. And I was really, really upset, like stupid upset, because it was quite personal, horrible attack. And I was always determined that my choice to do surrogacy wasn't going to affect my kids, and now it is. Sorry, I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to upload this, but that's the truth of it. And I'm an ugly crier, so by all means tell me what ghoul I look like, because that's fine, it'll make me laugh. But yeah, I'm going to get off because it's really long. And I'm sorry for being pathetic, but yeah, I am struggling. My kids deserve better than they're getting right now. And the guilt for that is just not going to go away anytime soon. But I'm doing my best. I promise you I'm doing my best. I'm trying to not be quite so pathetic. And again, apologies for being a total dick. I don't mean to be, I try and be honest, and this is how I am at the minute. So yeah, alright. I will see you all in a little bit. I'm doing a challenge after this when I've sorted myself out, but it's a blindfolded challenge, so if I cry it doesn't matter because there'll be something covering my eyes, so then it's fine. And yeah, I will speak to you all soon. Bye.